Our next function is len. We have already applied the function len for getting the length of a string, list, tuple or a dictionary. Okay. So len function is used to return the length of an object. Length of an object means the number of items in an object, and we can have any type of data can be passed to len function. Okay. Here we have some statements. First, str equal to hello world. We know hello world is a string, and we are passing str to len. At the time it returns 11 because the number of characters in hello world is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Space will also be counted. Okay. So at the time it returns 11. Then we have a list. We are passing a list x equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. We have values 1, 2, 3, 4 in x, and we are passing x to len function. It returns 4. We have 4 items here in the list. Then we have s equal to winter, spring, summer. It's a strings. We have strings, set of strings here. We have 3 strings. So when we pass s to len, it returns 3. So len is a very useful function that returns length of an object. Length of an object means the number of items in an object. We can have list, string, tuple or dictionary as an argument to len function. Next we have a new function, round. What do you mean by round? A round off. Actually, a round function is used to get the result up to a specified number of digits. A round function takes a floating point value and it rounds it to a specified number of digits, and we know the number remains unchanged, and it is of the format syntax round of n comma p. What is n? The number to be rounded, and p the number up to which n is to be rounded. Okay. N number or it can be an expression, number or expression to be rounded, and p number of digits up to which n is to be rounded. And we know n is a mandatory field because that is the one we are going to round off. N is mandatory. It can be an integer type or a floating point type, but p is optional. But if there is p, it must be an integer type. So round function is used to get the result up to a specified number of digits. It takes a floating point value and rounds up to a specified number of digits, and it's of the format n comma p. N is the number to be rounded, and p the number of digits up to which it is to n is to be rounded. We know n is mandatory. It can be an integer type of floating point, and p is optional. It can be, if it is there, it must be an integer type. And here we have 4 statements, 4 examples for variations of applying round function. The first one is p is not specified. Second one, p is specified with the value 0. And the third one, p is having a positive value. And the last one, p is having a negative value. We can look at one by one. Okay. So the first one is p is not specified. Then n will be rounded up to 0 digits, 0 decimal digits. And the result will be an integer value. If p is not specified, n will be rounded off to 0 decimal digits, and it will be an integer value. Okay, we have 2 examples. Round of 12.452. It returns 12. Then round of 12.534. It returns 13. We know 12 and 13 are integer values. If p is not specified, n will be rounded up to 0 decimal digits, 0 digits of decimal, and the result will be an integer value. Here we could see 12.452. It will be rounded off to 12. But 12.534, it will be rounded off to 13, because here comes what? 0.5. It will be taken as what? 13 will be added to, okay, the integral part 13, 12. Okay, it will be becoming what? 13. Then we can have the second. We are specifying p. The value of p is 0. Then n will be rounded up to 0 digits and will be a floating point. The result will be a floating point value. If p is specified with the value 0, n will be rounded up to 0 decimal digits, plus it will be a floating point value. we have two examples here. A round of 12.452, 0. It will be 12. Then round of 12.534, 0. That is 13.0. And you can just easily compare the first and second. In the first case we haven't specified p. At the time n is rounded up to 0. In the second case we have specified p to 0 and n is rounded up to 0, the same. But the result of the first, when we don't specify p, will be an integer value, and when we specify p as 0, it will be a floating point value. That is the difference. Here the result is 1213, here it is 12.0, 13.0. That's the only difference. When we don't specify p, it is an integer. When we specify p, it will be a floating point, specified as 0. The other one, by default, it will be taken as 0. And the last two, p is having a positive value, and the fourth one is having p is having a negative value. P is positive. When the value of p is positive, n is rounded up to p digits after the decimal point or after the decimal digits. If the value of p is positive, n will be rounded up to p digits after the decimal point, and it will be a floating point. The result of positive and negative is, of course, floating point. Let's say an example, round of 12.54452, 1. We have a value for p. It's not 0, it is 1. Then the result is 12.5, because here 4 becomes 5. Here it's 5. It will be rounded up to 5. Then a round of 12.534, 2. Here the value of p is 2. At the time we can see 12.53 will be the result. 12.53 will be the result. So for the third case, we are specifying p. We can specify the value of p at the time n will be rounded off to p number of digits after the decimal point. You can see what? Here the value of p is 1. So it is 12.5. 4 will be rounded off to 5. So only one value here after the decimal point. And for the second statement, 12.534, 2. Here the value of p is 2. So after the decimal point, we'll have 2 digits. That is 12.53. Okay. So this is how when we specify p works, which is also a positive number. Okay. And the last one is p is negative. N will be rounded off to p digits, as we have seen in the case of the third example. Before the decimal point, when the value of p is positive, it will be after the decimal point, and if it is negative, it will be before the decimal point, and the result will be a floating point 1. Okay. Then trailing p will be rounded off to 0. That's a point to be noted. Trailing p will be rounded off to 0. Let's say an example. Round of 1234.56, comma minus 1. Here you can see the value of p as minus 1. At the time 1230. What is that? 1. Here the value of p is minus 1. So before the decimal point, here is our decimal point, and before the decimal point, 123. Minus 1 means only 1. So this 4 will be rounded off to 0. That is, trailing p will be rounded off to 0. Okay. So here the result will be 123. In place of 4 it is 0, because here the value of p is minus 1 before the decimal point. Then another one, 1258.4, comma minus 2. Here the value of p is minus 2, meaning 2 digits before the decimal point. That is 1, 2. It is not, okay, 1, 2. After 2 we have 5. So this 2 will be rounded off to 3. So 1, 3, 0, 0. Why 0, 0? Because here it is minus 2. We know trailing p will be rounded off to 0. Here the value of p is minus 2. So these 2 will be rounded off to 0. Okay. So this is how round function works. We have seen len. Len is used to find the length of an object. It can be a list, a string, a tuple, or dictionary, and we have applied it. Then round, it's a new function for you. A round function is used to get the result rounded off to a specified number of digits. to a specified number of digits, and it takes the floating point value and it rounded off it to a specified number of digits, and the number remains the number remains unchanged. Okay, and the syntax is a round of n comma p, and we have seen variations, and n can be integer or floating, but it is mandatory, and p is optional, but it must be an integer type. Okay, so we have after that we have seen 4 different variations of applying round of function. First, p is not specified. At the time n will be rounded up to 0, plus the result will be an integer type. 12 it is 12, it is 13. And for the second one, it is p specified as 0, n will be rounded off to 0, but the difference is it will be a floating point one. You can see 12.45, okay, it is 12.0, it is 13.0. This 5 will be rounded off to 3, okay. Then the last two, positive and negative. In the case of positive, when p is positive, when p is a positive number, n will be rounded up to p digits after the decimal point, and if it is negative, n will be rounded up to p digits before the decimal point. Positive after the decimal point, negative before the decimal point. Around 12 comma, it is 12.4 because the value of p is 1. 12.5, okay, 4 will be rounded up to 5. Then 12.53, here it is, the value of p is 2, okay, will be 12.53. And in the case of negative, we have seen trailing p will be rounded up to 0. It is p is minus 1, so 1 2 3 0. Then minus 2, there will be 2 digits, okay, into consideration before the decimal point, that is 1 2. After that it is 5, so 2 will be rounded off to 3, so 1 3 0 0, because the value of minus 2 is p is minus 2, so 1 3 0 0. So this is how a round function works. It's a somewhat commonly used function at the time of performing mathematical calculations. Okay, so this is somewhat an important one. Okay, just go through it. Here we have our last function, range. We have applied the range function in many of our loops. Actually, it gives a series of numbers. It is used to define a series of numbers, and mainly we have used this concept of range, the function range, in for loops. And you can see some examples here. Range of 5, it means range of 0 to 5, and we are listing it, list of range of 5, it gives 0 1 2 3 4. Range of 5 means we can have values from 0 1 2 3 4. The won't be 5, it will be 0 to n minus 1. Okay, you know that, 0 to n minus 1. So at the time of printing list of range of 5, it starts with 0 0 1 2 3 4. It won't print 5, it is up to 5, that is n minus 1. Another example, here the increment is by 1, and we haven't specified the beginning. If we are not specifying the beginning, it will be starting with 0. We have specified only the end, that is what 5 is. So it starts with 0 0 to n minus 1, 0 to 4, 0 to 4. But we can specify the beginning using this syntax, range of begin comma end. Range of 5 comma 9. It means it starts with 5 and ends with n minus 1, that is 8. List of range of 5 comma 9, that is it's starting with 5 6 7 8. It won't print 9 because it's up to n minus 1, that is up to 8, okay, including 8. Then both these increment by 1, and we can change the value 1. We can increment by 2, we can increment by 5, using any number. Okay, that is what our next example is. Range of, using the syntax, range of begin comma end comma stop, just like start, stop and step. Begin and then stop can be specified here. In the first case we have specified only the end, second case we have specified both the beginning and end, and the last case begin, end and stop, step. Okay, so range 10 comma 71 comma 5, beginning 10, ending 71, and the stepping, okay, incrementing value, that is 5. List of range of 10, okay, we have the values will be, it is starting with 10, so 10 15, why 15 second, because increment by 5, 15 20 25 30 35 40 45 up to 70. the ending value is 71. So these are the three ways to apply range function. Range function is used to get a series of numbers, used to define a series of numbers, and mainly used in for loop. And we can apply in three different formats. One is just applying the end. At the time it begins with 0 to n minus 1. And the second case, we can specify both beginning and end. 5, 9, starting with 5, 6, 7, 8, up to n minus 1. Here the value of n is 9, so n minus 1 is 8. 8 will be, up to 8 will be printed. And the last case, we can specify beginning and stepping. Okay, so a range of 10, 71, 5. That is, beginning is 10, ending is 71, and the increment is by 5. So 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, that is the processing order. So these are all about range function, and these are some of the built-in functions available in Python standard library. As we see, using these built-in functions, we can make the program easy. We can make develop our program faster. And we have seen a number of advantages of using built-in functions in Python. And we know the specialty of Python programming language. It consists of a huge library, and mainly availability of number of built-in functions. First, we have seen type conversion functions like int, str, and float. After that, input function, eval function. Then we have seen min and max, abs function, then type function, then len, round, and finally range function. Okay, so just go through all these functions. This will definitely help you out at the time of developing your program or your project. So this is all for the time being. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time.